Magandang hapon, mga minamahal kong proud Kawayanos. Ngayong hapon na to ay aking ibabahagi ang estado ng ating lungsod ng Kawayan. For the past years, we've seen how Kawayan City has made a name as the first smarter city of the Philippines. Our gratitude and thanks to the Department of Science and Technology through Secretary Fortunato de la Peña and Regional Director Sancho Maborang, together with Isabela State University President Dr. Ricmar Aquino, and Executive Director Dr. Priscilla de Lima for making this happen. We have conquered the national stage and traveled across the world, sharing our best practices, carrying the name as the first smarter city of the Philippines. Much have been done already, and there are still a lot in store for implementation. But I personally, at the end of the day, would ask myself, do the people of Kawayan feel like what it is to be a smart city? Ramdam po ba ng mga minamahal kong Kawayenyos ang mga benepisyong hatid sa pagiging smart city? This afternoon, I would like for each proud Kawayenyo to learn and understand what we are doing, why we are seriously and strongly pushing for the implementation of Kawayan's smarter city, because it takes an informed and collaborative citizenry in order to fulfill the objectives of smarter city, which in the long run would enable us to be truly a future-proof city. What is a smart city? A smart city is one which uses technology in order to address the issues of a community, be it health, traffic, infrastructure, crime, and social problems. It can be as complex as having cars with sensors that can automatically drive and park a car, or as simple as creating a device that will inform our farmers whether it's going to rain or not, to tell them when it is the best time to plant and harvest. Simply, smart city is equal to technology plus public service, which according to the ASEAN Smart City Framework resolves three important specific objectives, namely, competitive economy, which assures equal opportunities for all, sustainable environment with enough resources to meet the needs of today's population without compromising the needs of the future generations, and above all, high quality of life, able to provide our people with equitable access to basic services towards a more fulfilled and meaningful life. Let us discuss the different programs that the city government has implemented in 2019 and the different innovations and future plans that we can adopt in order to be truly smart in civil and social harmony, health and well-being, safety and security, quality environment, built infrastructure, and industry and innovation. In civic and social harmony, from this graph, we can see the appropriation budget for the different kinds of services we provided for all the sectors of community, from children, youth, solo parents, women, indigent families, persons with disabilities, and senior citizens, in order to make sure that each of these sectors have equal access to the different programs of the city government, to create a unified city of Kawayan where no one is left behind. In children and youth, we constructed additional 2 children development centers in Barangay Amobocan and Villa Luna, and aided other daycare centers with TV sets to be used by our preschool students for basic learning and training. 20 children with special needs were also given allowance per quarter under our Educational Assistance Program. We actively took part in the celebration of the 27th National Children's Month, which coincided with the 30th anniversary of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of a Child, to strengthen public awareness on the rights of children and create a more child-friendly environment. We also conducted the annual Alay Lakad for a Cause for the benefit of our school youth. We formally created the Local Youth Development Council in compliance with the mandate of the Sangguniang Kabataan Reform Law to intensify youth participation in nation building and youth empowerment. We have likewise strengthened our efforts in sports as important aspect of youth development. Youth athletes and aspiring sports enthusiasts were given trainings for different kinds of sports during sports clinics and tournaments. Representatives from Kawayan City joined the Pony Baseball in Miyazaki, Japan, to compete with other ASEAN countries in baseball and softball. Extensive trainings were also conducted and are continuously being done as we prepare for the first ever hosting of the 2020 Cagayan Valley Regional Athletic Association Meet. As we start the ball rolling for this big event, we have created the first Cabraa 2020 mobile application, which is the first ever designed mobile app in the Philippine sports as we live to the name of a smart city. To get people across the world to be more connected, innovative, and involved in the activities of Cabraa 2020. We hope to get your full support as we hold this year's big event, and together, let us make history in the field of sports. Our solo parents will now have their own office to be used as their working space for planning and engagement to ensure that the needs of our solo parents are catered. The City Council has passed the new Gender and Development Code, which provides for more comprehensive and sustainable programs for gender and development. In line with our advocacy to promote gender equality through women empowerment, we took part in the Walk a Mile in Our Shoes, Year 2, where the gentlemen paraded in the ladies' shoes. The city government likewise strengthened the promotion of activities to stand up against violence on women. In families, last October, we observed the celebration of Family Week to create awareness about the importance of a family as a basic unit of our society. 1,147,500 pesos was allotted for the Cash for Work program, where 425 typhoon victims from the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, indigent families, and solo parents were given temporary employment and received an income of 2,700 pesos to support their daily basic needs. 81 couples took part in the 2019 Kasalang Bayan, who were also given pre-marriage counseling and family planning. In PWDs, the city government extended a total of 1.2 million financial health assistance to 206 PWDs for use and purchase of nutritious foods, medicines, and vitamins for the improvement of their health conditions. 578 were issued the PWD IDs and purchased booklets, and 175 assistive devices were also distributed for our PWDs. Children with disabilities were also granted with educational assistance in the form of transportation allowance, particularly those enrolled in South and North Central School, School for the Blind, Top 8 Technical School, and Isabela School for the Deaf. With our assistance on training and development, we had 2 PWD graduates of vocational course through the Area Vocational Rehabilitation Center. 14 PWDs were also granted with a starting capital of 5,000 pesos each under the Individual Livelihood Assistance Program, and 7 PWDs were given temporary employment under the Cash for Work program, where they were able to receive an average monthly income of 6,000 pesos each. These programs are means in order to increase employment rate among PWDs to make them more involved and self-reliant. We also took part in the 15th Women with Disability Day celebration with the theme, Sabay-sabay, Pantay-pantay sa pag-unlad ng mga kababaihang may kapansanan, #walang iwanan. The 41st National Disability Prevention and Rehabilitation Week with the theme, Lokal na pamahalaan, kabalikat sa pagtupad ng kakapatan ng mga taong may kapansanan. And the 2019 International Day of Persons with Disability with the theme, Promoting the Participation of Persons with Disabilities and Their Leadership, taking action on the 2030 Development Agenda. To encourage citizen engagement and awareness in the upliftment of the economic and social conditions of PWDs in our society. With our senior citizens, we have continuously conducted free birthday celebrations for our senior citizens. The City Council has approved the ordinance advancing the granting of cash incentives for senior citizens. Instead of granting cash gift to senior citizens upon reaching the age of 100, our senior citizens can now receive with this incentive at the age of 90, with the hope that our senior citizens may still be able to enjoy these benefits, which can also help them in their daily medications upon reaching old age. As we move forward, the grant of financial assistance to these sectors will also become digital. Part of the plans for implementation is the granting of Cauayan City IDs, which are ATM-enabled, so that all financial assistance shall be directly deposited to the individual accounts of our constituents, without the need to actually going to the City Hall to receive these money grants. In tourism, heritage development and cultural preservation are also key factors in ensuring social and cultural unity amidst diversity. The first Indigenous Peoples Office is soon to open in the city that will function as the principal office of all the indigenous groups in Cauayan City for planning, engagement, and development of programs to ensure a peaceful and unified indigenous sector, which is necessary to preserve the richness of the diverse culture of the city. The Gawa-Gawayan Festival has consistently become one of the most awaited activity in the city of Cauayan, which has invited an influx of visitors from different municipalities and cities across the Philippines. Exciting activities were staged to promote the unity of the Cauayeños as we celebrated the bountiful harvest, with the Cauayan City Bancheto as one of the festival highlights, with an estimate of about 500,000 recorded visitors throughout the duration of the festival. More fun-filled activities await us this 2020 with the help and support of this year's Director General, Mr. Michael De Guzman. Cauayan City has again made a name in the 2019 Bambanti Festival, where we were hailed as the back-to-back overall grand champion and received a total of cash prize of 1.5 million pesos utilized for the construction of the Bambanti Village and Museum at Hacienda de San Luis Ecotourism Park, which will also be another attraction in the city. If you may notice, in the Poblacion, we are currently renovating our old festival grounds and developing it into a greener Cauayan Events and Festival Grounds Plaza to be powered with public Wi-Fi to make it a perfect place for recreation and relaxation for our dear Cauayeños. With all of these attractions in place, we expect to encourage more tourist visits in the city of Cauayan. To monitor and ensure the safe entry and exit of our visitors, the local government, in partnership with Multisys, PLDT Smart, and Samsung, have developed and launched the first Cauayan City Visitor Management System to be used as a digital platform for the registration of the arrivals of our visitors, where they can also get discounts from hotels and restaurants if they register using the system for a more fun-filled and exciting stay in the city of Cauayan. Ang inyo pong lingkod at ang bumubuo ng Team Bernard ay taus-pusong nagpapasalamat sa bawat Cauayeño sa muli ninyong pagtitiwala at sa suporta sa nakaraang eleksyon. Maraming salamat po sa inyong partisipasyon upang maging matahimik at matiwasay ang pagdaos ng nakaraang eleksyon at sa inyong pakikiisa sa Unity Walk and Interfaith Prayer Rally. With the new set of members of the City Council, headed by City Vice Mayor Leoncio Bong Dalin Jr., we commit to be more united to give each Cauayeño a citizen-oriented and better public service. To capacitate our barangay officials to be more effective in planning and implementation of projects, we conducted training workshops on barangay budgeting and financial management. 2019 has also opened opportunities for Cauayan City to showcase and share our best practices to different cities who visited our city for benchmarking and possible collaboration. The cities of Marikina, Pasig, and Parañaque conducted an in-country study tour in Cauayan City, and delegates from Asin, Leyte, with the presence of Mayor Mercado himself, visited our city to learn our best practices on disaster resilience and smart initiatives. Cauayan City was also privileged to host the League of Cities' 66th National Executive Board meeting, where 20 mayors from the different cities across the Philippines, led by Mayor Ed Pamintuan, participated, one way to promote our city. For the past years, the city government has been developing systems to increase the efficiency of service delivery by automating government service. In partnership with Multisys Technologies Incorporated, headed by its president and CEO, Mr. David Almirol, who is truly a proud Cauayeño, our Cauayan City Connect and the new Cauayan Smart City app can now be used not only as information system, but it can now be used for load, money transfer, and bills payment. But wait, there's more. The application for business permit and mayor's permit will also soon be digital, the purpose of which is to eradicate human intervention and to give our constituents a more convenient payment channel, especially now that the City Council has passed the ordinance authorizing and recognizing the use of electronic payment channels. There are other smart solutions on the way to better engage and serve our Kawayeños, all aiming for a more transparent, efficient, and effective delivery of public service. Please watch this video.
Mayor's permit. Kawayan City first.
For health and well-being. Another aspect of a smart city is the application of innovative solutions for the welfare of the citizens, improving access to housing, education, and healthcare. The City of Kawayan participated in Listahan, the third round of the National Household Targeting System for Poverty Reduction. This information management system helps to provide agencies with information on who and where the poor families in the Philippines are located, and that can be used for the identification and selection of potential beneficiaries for various social protection programs. In addition to the core shelters units in Sitio Manalpaak, the city government will provide a mass housing project in Barangay Nagrumbuan to house 50 indigent families in a resettlement area to provide shelter for people living in hazardous areas. In education, we conducted the distribution of school bags and school supplies to all public schools in Kawayan City and participated in a celebration of World Teachers' Day in recognition of the contribution of our beloved teachers in nation building. We give our special thanks to PLDT Smart for choosing Kawayan City to be a recipient of the Gabay Guro program, which provided a night of socialization and entertainment for our teachers and professors, designed to uplift the welfare and well-being of our Filipino teachers nationwide. Special thanks as well to Security Bank Foundation for donating 16 classrooms that will give a more convenient learning place for our students. The city government signed a memorandum of agreement with DOST Region 2 and DepEd Schools Division of Kawayan City, Isabela, for the implementation of the 21st Century Learning Environment Model in support to the K-12 curriculum, for the establishment of the 21st Century Classroom equipped with new and emerging interactive educational technologies to help uplift the education standard of the city of Kawayan as we move towards to the implementation of a digital learning. Our special thanks also to SMART for choosing Villaflor Elementary School, located at the farthest barangay of the city, as a recipient of the Smart School in a Bag program, where the school was awarded with a laptop, tablet, hard drive, smartphone, smart Wi-Fi, and digital education content to make education accessible even in the remote areas without electricity. In healthcare, we actively participated in annual activities which aimed to promote a healthy citizenry in the city of Kawayan, such as Todas Dengue, bloodletting activity, Nutrition Month kickoff ceremony and feeding program, peer project on childhood tuberculosis, No Tobacco Day, and annual medical mission. We also sealed an agreement with the Department of Health for the opening of the Botica ng Bayan in Barangay Villaluna, which will serve as a drug outlet where people can avail of primary non-prescription generic medicines for free. We also rehabilitated barangay health centers in Barangay Bacolod, Barangay Sur, and Mabantad to supplement the efforts of our rural health units in providing basic medical services such as maternal health care, childcare for expanded program on immunization and family planning, health and wellness programs, and oral health care. We also held the Buntis Congress, participated by 100 pregnant women, where they were given free prenatal checkup, alkansya para sa buntis, and health education on pregnancy and caring for our newborns. With all of these efforts, we achieved a significant improvement in the health profile of the city, where there was a reduced number of teenage pregnancy, an increase from 27% to 30% number of families who resorted to responsible family planning, no recorded cases of sexually transmitted infection, and 99% of the total recorded deliveries were assisted in health facilities. And 93% of newborn babies recorded were provided with full and complete immunization. We also conducted rabies and African swine fever awareness seminar and bird flu serosurveillance. And thankfully, the city of Cauayan has no recorded cases of African swine fever and bird flu. We will soon establish a social hygiene clinic to examine, treat, prevent the spread of sexually transmitted infections. Teen centers will also soon be functional in the city that will facilitate workshops, counseling, and trainings on sexuality and reproductive health for young people. Discussions and plans were also held for the construction of the first Operation Smile Center in Cauayan City towards becoming the first cleft-free city and a cleft-free province of Isabela. This year, Cauayan City will be the first LGU in the Philippines to implement telemedicine, made possible through our partners Globe and Consulta MD, where people can seek medical advice, avail first aid and primary care, health and wellness service online, even without personally seeing a doctor, thereby providing a more efficient and convenient healthcare delivery. Multisys has also developed kiosks to be deployed in our barangays soon that have the capacity to print out prescriptions even without actually going to clinics or health centers. Both these systems will also keep a record of the medical history of our constituents needing medical care, which is necessary so we can easily assess and evaluate the overall health profile of the city of Cauayan, and therefore be able to identify priority plans needed to promote a healthy citizenry. In safety and security, a smart city ensures the effective and sustainable production and consumption of resources to meet the needs of both the present and future generations. To achieve this, the city government has adopted programs aimed to improve the agricultural sector of the city. For crop year 2019, we have harvested a total of 128,000 metric tons of rice, as we distributed about 5,000 bags of hybrid rice and 1,400 certified seeds. For corn production, we have harvested a total of 126,000 metric tons of corn and distributed 3,000 bags of hybrid corn seeds. A total of 63,100 pieces assorted vegetable seedlings were dispersed to backyard vegetable growers in various barangays and schools in the city, conducted the SDG Faces Binhi sa Bakuran project, and dispersed 150,000 tilapia fingerlings in 22 barangays as part of our fishery development program. We also constructed an additional 3 multi-purpose drying pavements in Barangay San Fermin, San Pablo, and Barangay Nagrumbuan, and awarded different agricultural engineering units like palay seeder, hand tractor, rice combine harvester, grain collector, and mechanical weeder to agri-cooperatives in the city. As we move towards a smarter and sustainable farming, 1 unit of solar-powered irrigation system is being constructed at Sitio del Corpus, Barangay Labinab. We also launched the first greenhouse unit with aquaponics, designed by the students from Temasek Polytechnic University in Singapore and Isabela State University. This is the first Internet of Things-based greenhouse irrigation control system for aquaponics that has the capacity to grow plants without using fertilizer. Rather, it uses waste of fish as natural fertilizer, perfect for the plants, and is powered with sensors which can measure temperature and water level in real-time manner. We hope to replicate this and create more greenhouse units for a smarter and sustainable farming. Last year, we also started the Digital Farmers Program in partnership with PLDT Smart to provide digital literacy for our farmers on new farming techniques through technological solutions that will boost agriculture productivity and marketability. The city government will continue to invest on these kinds of programs towards sustainable and smart farming as we continue to strengthen the agricultural sector, which remains to be the backbone of our city. Food consumption is likewise our priority as we want to ensure food security. Our food bank has catered to a total of 22,288 beneficiaries at the end of 2019, and 6 barangays with a total of 90 underweight and severely underweight children were benefited from the 120-day Supplemental Rice Allowance project. And just last week, we were privileged to be invited in the Senate hearing called by Senator Pia Cayetano to share our best practices on sustainable food consumption, featuring our very own food bank. Thank you to all our donors for continuously supporting this project. In public safety and crime prevention, there was a significant decrease of crime incidents in the city of Cauayan from 831 index and non-index crimes in 2018 down to 338 recorded crimes in 2019, which shows almost 60% improvement in the crime situation of the city. We continue to strengthen our efforts in the anti-illegal drugs campaign, and more barangays have been declared drug-cleared and drug-free. The city government has also entered into agreements with various local government units to signify their shared commitment for drug reformists who availed reformation services in Cauayan City's Balay Silangan. The City Council has also enacted an ordinance prohibiting admission of minors and students in drive-in hotels and enacted a new citywide curfew for minors from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m., providing stricter penalties in violation thereof. The city government has likewise continuously extended legal services and conducted mediation proceedings, especially involving indigent families, to help in the maintenance of peace and order in the city. Recently, we institutionalized the People's Law Enforcement Board, which will be the disciplining authority of the local government to hear complaints against erring police officers. The Cauayan City District Jail has also a significant record of 100% zero escapees and continuously conducted rehabilitation programs for persons deprived of liberty, as we participated in the National Correctional Consciousness Week. To boost citywide surveillance capabilities, the City Council enacted an ordinance authorizing the installation of traffic enforcement camera and the use of speed cameras, as we will soon implement the no-contact apprehension policy for a stricter implementation of traffic rules and regulations. In quality environment, a smart city requires solutions to achieve a quality environment which does not only have sustainable and well-managed resources, but also an environment which is resilient against disasters. The city government has crafted and adopted its new forest land use plan that will provide guidelines on how we can better manage and harmonize uses of forest lands. We also held Green Revolution Program, Barangay Forest Management and Development Programs, and organized tree planting activities. Cauayan City joined in the simultaneous tree planting activities of the province of Isabela, where we took part in planting 1 million trees in one day. We also granted sustainable livestock livelihood projects to the affected farmers from the typhoon, where we gave them 450 heads free-range chicken, 1 head native carabao, and 1 head cattle, not only to increase animal population for food consumption, but also to provide alternative livelihood for these affected farmers. We also conducted health, air, and water quality control and monitoring program to strictly implement the prohibition on burning of waste in the city of Cauayan. Efficient solutions on waste disposal are also essential to achieve quality environment. We held the search for model barangay with best practices in the observance of the mandate of Republic Act number 9003, or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Program. We continuously implemented clean drive programs and recycling programs such as Wealth and Waste, Basurang Plastic Fixed It, May Supresang Kapalit, Ang Basura Mo, Isendro Mo. The Kawayan City District Jail was awarded as the model agency for Best Proactive on Eco-Recycling Program, where they turned recyclable materials into livelihood products. We also held the successful turnover of the first Eco-Brick facility, where consumer plastics and non-biodegradable residuals are put into good use as reusable building blocks, which can be used for housing projects and constructions. We continue to strengthen the community and barangay on natural disaster resilience as we conducted the National Disaster Resilience in schools and agencies, Barangay Disaster Preparedness Caravan, and Barangay Preparedness Assessment and Barangay Responders on Disasters or Broad Challenge, where the winning barangay, together with the 25 new drug-cleared barangays, were awarded with barangay rescue vehicles. We also staged the first ultimate firefighting challenge, where Barangay Marabulig Uno was declared as the winner and was awarded the first fire moto pumper, which they can use to respond on fire incidents. The city of Kawayan took part in the first Tokhang Responders Sports Olympics, where our city was hailed as the champion and placed second on the Regional Tokhang Responders Sports Olympics in Tuguegarao City. Likewise, officers and personnel from our City Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office were requested by the Office of the Civil Defense, Region 2, to be deployed at Cagayan and Tuguegarao City to help in the evacuation of residents affected by flood brought about by Typhoon Kial. Truly, Kawayan City has been recognized to be one of the LGUs with best practices on efficient disaster preparedness and risk management. In built infrastructure, a smart city develops solutions on how it can maximize the use of utilities such as water, wastewater treatment, and energy. There are a total of 34,000 households which have access to improved water supply, 35,000 households with satisfactory solid waste disposal facilities, and 32,000 with complete basic sanitation facilities. Special thanks to Land Bank of the Philippines for choosing Kawayan City to be a recipient of the Gawad Katubigan Project or Gawad Kaakibat na Tulong sa Bayan para sa inuming kailangan, where typhoon-affected farmers were provided with water filtration systems to ensure access to clean and safe drinking water. In 2019, we have also officially launched the Waste-to-Energy Plant, the first sustainable solution that aims for the proper disposal and management of waste and put it into good use as a source of electricity. We likewise sealed an agreement with other LGUs in nearby municipalities to show commitment in the operation of this project. To help improve the productivity of the construction sector, the city government conducted training on the streamlining of building permits and certificate of occupancy application to lessen the processing time needed in securing these documents, which will surely provide convenience to the construction sector. Efforts and programs were also done to improve public transportation services and infrastructure. In 2019, there were a total of 651 new franchise of tricycles, 1,005 renewed franchise, and 5,388 renewed body number of tricycles. This year, we will institutionalize the operation of e-vehicles in the city, with our aim to contribute to resolve the issues of climate change. To kick off this initiative, we launched the operation of the hybrid electric road train, developed by the Filipino engineers from the Department of Science and Technology, which we used as for its initial implementation as free transportation vehicle for all the residents, especially students, senior citizens, and PWDs. We also sealed a collaboration project with the DOST, ISU, and private consortium that will give way for the local fabrication of hybrid electric road trains. And this year, electric scooters will start to roam around Kawayan City, as we will officially launch the e-scooter share project. To give way for these new technologies, efforts were done to improve road structures. We have completed the opening of Kawayan City Bypass Road Phase 1 from Kawayan City to Reyna Mercedes boundary to Presidio Suites in Luna. and we are currently completing the opening of Bypass Road Phase 2 from Presidio Suites, Luna to Nungnungan Dos. We have also entered into an agreement with the provincial government for the construction of the Cauayan City East Bypass Alternate Road, connecting the forest region from Santa Luciana to Sitio Buduan, San Pablo, Cauayan City, Isabela. We also conducted various road construction projects and complied with the national mandate on road clearing operations, where we demolished illegal structures in various streets of the city, eliminated sidewalk vendors and illegally parked vehicles to bring back these roads for public use. Aside from construction and rehabilitation projects, we also conducted installation of streetlights along Poblacion, construction of box culvert at M. Subido Street to National Highway, flood control facilities along the Cagayan River banks in West Tabacal, constructed the apartment-type niches at City Cemetery in Barangay San Francisco, to be followed by the construction of the Burulan ng Bayan, Phase 1, and the rehabilitation of cemetery fences in Barangay San Fermin. Future structures include the construction of Multipurpose Development Center or Motor Pool and the Multipurpose Building Justice Villas in Barangay Tagaran. The completion of the construction of sanitary landfill in Barangay San Pablo, construction of the Business Intelligence for Research and Development Center at ISU Cauayan, the 3-story project of the Cauayan City District Jail, and the Hall of Justice, and the completion of the construction of the Cauayan City Sports Complex, which we will use as host for this year's Cabraa 2020. In industry and innovation, smart cities adopt transformative technologies to improve business, entrepreneurship, and trade economic and social advancement. We have continuously adopted programs for the advancement of our micro, small, and medium enterprises and cooperatives. 9 cooperatives were provided with capital from different financial agencies and LGUs amounting to 30 million pesos allotted for livelihood projects. With that, there was a recorded increase in the number of cooperatives provided with livelihood and business opportunities from 10% to 56% cooperatives. We also took part in the Entrepreneurial Development Training Job and Business Fair during the celebration of the Labor Day, attended the PPP Orientation Seminar organized by the PPP Monitoring Center, and opened the One-Store Hub, which will house local products from Cauayan City and the entire region to help improve livelihood of our MSMEs. In 2019, there were a total of 941 new business establishments in Cauayan City and 2,945 renewed businesses. We hope to increase this number as we adopt digital solutions to create a more conducive business environment, like online application and payment of business permits, together with the institutionalization of the City Economic Investment and Promotion Office that will assist the LGU for investment promotion and development of our local economy, and the partnerships with the Board of Investments for business matching and the conduct of the PPP Summit. In relation to our implementation of the Local Incentive Code, the city government has awarded tax incentives for SM Group of companies. We hope to collaborate with our business establishments also in order to maximize these incentives. Future projects include the enhancement of the investment website, where it will soon accept online submission of application for tax incentives and online hotel reservations, the establishment of the One Barangay, One Product project, and the digitalized Pasalubong Center in partnership with the DOST and ISU as part of the Smarter Cauayan City project. A smart city also creates an environment which encourages innovation. To achieve this, we will construct the first Business Intelligence for Research and Development Center that will serve as an open lab for research, technological innovation, assist startups, and give way for the implementation of data analytics. And we hope to make it the Silicon Valley of the North. We also collaborated with Sutherland Philippines for the creation of a talent pool in the city in preparation for the institutionalization of business process outsourcing opportunities in Cauayan City. A new partnership has been sealed with PLDT Smart for the development and installation of digital technologies to create a roadmap for a smarter and sustainable Cauayan City. Immediately after ceremonial signing, much projects have been placed already. So thank you and our deepest gratitude to their President and CEO, Mr. Manuel Pangilinan and Mr. Alfred Panlilio. 2019 also marked the beginning of our partnership with Smart Cities Council, Singapore, and Smart Cities Network, chaired by Mr. Kok Chin Tai, as we conducted the first Smarter Cities Readiness Challenge workshop, participated by some mayors from the Philippines, with the aim to increase capacity building and awareness among cities in order to create more smarter and sustainable cities in the Philippines. This partnership has also helped in creating linkages with our ASEAN members and has opened opportunities for Kawayan City to be invited in different international engagements like Connect Tech Asia in Singapore, WeGo Executive Committee meeting, Advancing Human-Centered Smart Cities in Seongnam City, South Korea, Smart and Secure Cities and Communities, Challenge Expo in Washington, D.C., Singapore-US Third Country Training Workshop, where our Smart City officer was privileged to be among the delegates from Asia to be granted this U.S. government-funded training, and the Summit of Leaders in Oxford in the United Kingdom. These engagements did not only provide opportunity for us to showcase our best practices in Smart City, but more importantly, these have linked Kawayan City with other countries, stakeholders, partners, and international funding agencies who may help us develop and finance our initiatives to strengthen our Kawayan Smarter City project. In closing, with all of these efforts and digital initiatives in place, 2019 has been a banner year for Kawayan City, as we received several national awards. Kawayan City has been a consistent awardee of the National Quality Corn Achievers Awards and home of the Rice Achievers awardees. The City Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office was recognized as the Regional Gawad Kalasag awardee, as champion for Best Local Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council City category, and the 21st Gawad Kalasag National Awardee first place for Best Local Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council City category. Kawayan City won 3 awards in Digital Governance Awards. First place, Best in eGov Government Interoperability for Barangay Centralized Wireless Network. Second place, Best in eGov Business Empowerment Investment Website. Second place, Best eGov Digital Finance for the Kawayan Smart City app. And a finalist in Best in eGov Customer Empowerment for our Barangay website. And awardee of the International Learning Program, where we were granted VIP pass to benchmark in Huawei main office in China. For the first time in history, Kawayan City was named as the most business-friendly LGU city category all over the country because of our solutions in the ease of doing business. And Kawayan City has been awarded for the 3rd time the Seal of Good Local Governance. From all of these accomplishments, we can see that Kawayan City is never behind from digital advancement. With your support, we take pride as we share our humble experience to inspire the world that a small and highly agricultural city like Kawayan City has the capacity to emerge as one of the country's smarter and sustainable city. So it is with high hopes that we continue to collaborate and innovate in order to provide a better and quality public service for the people in the city of Kawayan. Mabuhay ang proud Kawayanos. Maraming salamat.